Okay, welcome back to the channel. Here we are. This is where we ended walk 1 roughly. So we're going to start walk 2 now. I'm just going to point some bits out from the end of walk 1, where the canal crossed and obviously where the railway crossed just here. So yeah, welcome back. Obviously this is going to be walk 2, so let's get travelling around then. So there's our Coal Canal Way sign. That's obviously taking us to the right. Now, the railway line came in across here somewhere, and just over there is where Lower Congaree Colliery tramway came down to join into the railway. That was the later tramway. Now the canal is over there, and it bends. It obviously came where we just followed on the towpath, and where that fence is, it bends round there and under the road. So we're going to have a look now. This is where we finished off walk 1. We turn right and then walk back towards Poulton, but about 50 metres down this road we're going to turn left. I think it's Dorcott Lane. We'll check that when we get there. So yeah, these roads are lethal, so be careful. I think I said that in walk 1. But yeah, so the canal passed under the road just here. I'll try and mark this out on a map to show you where it passed under. But we're going to head up where that van just went. Okay, so straight on is back towards Poulton. We've just come from there. The canal obviously went under the road there, and we're going to head down here. It's Dorcott Lane. Now part of this lane is the towpath for the canal, so we're going to have a look now. But yeah, this is walking up Dorcott Lane. Now the canal is to our left, so basically in that garden there. These new houses are actually on the canal. Yeah, not a great day. I think there's some storm coming in or something. You know, they name storms left, right and centre now to make us live in fear. But yeah, so the canal, we're just going to follow the canal round now, so it's going to be on our left hand side. So this is, as we walk around Dorcott Lane, so this is Radford to Camerton Old Colliery. We have been there before. I'll put a link for that video somewhere on the screen so you can have a look. Right, so this is, we're on the canal towpath. So where them new houses are, you can see that as the lane bends round, we're on the towpath. So the canal came along here. This was quite a wide open basin of the canal. Whether it was a turning point, I've no idea. That batch over there at the top there, that's Lower Congaree batch, the hill with all the trees on. I've done a video on that, so you can have a look at that. But the tramway for the canal, the early tramway, came through that field just ahead of us. Not the ones with the horses in, but the really muddy one that's been ploughed. So a tramway came across there down to the canal where they would load in the boats. Now when the railway was obviously opened, they redirected the tramway and it came down to transfer the coal onto the railway via an exchange siding. But yeah, if you roughly look, the canal, these fences here, you've got like a double layer of fences. So it bent round here and just kept bending round and bearing off to the left. We'll get to there in a minute where that gate is, and then ISO containers. Hello horses. Okay, so that's looking back towards the new houses where the horse is walking towards me. Thinks I've got some carrots and some sugar lumps. Now the canal bent round to the left. Now this mound here is the embankment for the railway. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the canal, they put a bridge in for the canal, or obviously because the canal was already shut, they just built over the top of it. I probably think the latter. They just built over the top of it. So the canal goes off to our left, and then bends to the right, and we'll follow that in a minute. We have to walk through some people's gardens to get to the towpath, but we'll go there now. And I think someone's come to say hello. Hello. Well, two people have come to say hello. So yeah, we've gone straight on, so we're kind of following. Just to our left now is the railway line, and further left is the canal. We cut under where an old bridge for the railway line was in a minute, and then we'll rejoin the canal. But we're still on the old footpath. We're still following the blue canalway circles. So here we are. We're just about to pass under the railway line in the location of an old bridge. I'll obviously put that on a map where we are, but there's our blue canalway sticker. It's also the limestone walk. Now this is the old bridge parapets, been repaired a bit, but yeah, now the canal is just over the other side there. Now we have to walk through people's gardens. I'll kind of film, but I won't talk a lot. So that's a lower Congaree batch in the background with the trees. Now across this field, and I think to here is where the original tramway came to load the coal onto the canal before the railway was built. So obviously they redirected the tramway towards the railway when that was built. So, yeah. Right, so as we walk along here, the canal is just there on our left hand side, so we're actually on the towpath. Yeah, you can really see here, so we're stood in the middle of the canal. Just go straight off down there. We're going to bear around to our right on the walk footpath. Don't want to upset anyone. Duck. So you can really see the indentation. You probably can't on the camera. The indentation of the canal there. Now obviously along here on this stretch, this is where Lower Congaree tramway came down, so there would have been a wharf there to load the canal boats up. Now we're obviously heading towards Camerton now, so this is the area of the canal. So nice little veg garden there now. I might have to walk the camera in a minute, but yeah, that's the canal there, just dead ahead of us, and we're on the towpath. Now obviously we're heading towards Camerton. Now at Camerton there was a pub called the Jolly Cholera. Now that pub is quite famous because there used to be a statue in the car park dedicated to the miners of the Camerton coalfield. Now that is currently situated now at the site of the old colliery, Camerton Old Colliery. Also that pub, whilst the coal was being loaded into their boats, the boatmen would obviously visit the pub, wait there for their boats to be loaded, and feast and drink until they were ready to set off on their journey again. So we'll try and get another look at that. I think there's a road that goes in front of it, but I'm not 100% sure. I've only seen it on Google Earth, so we'll try and get down there and have a look at the old pub. Right, we're a bit further along. We're just coming to the end of this walk. We're just entering Camerton. We're still on the canal towpath. It's still to our left. I did have a look at the first video I done. I got a bit confused. I thought the canal was to our right, but that was the railway line. It was actually to our left. It's just still along there. It's obviously been filled in. Now we're coming into Camerton. Now the canal passed under the bridge from our left and then over to the right hand side of the road. Before we go and have a look at the old pit and the old pub, we'll have a look. But yeah, another great notice board there. I'll just do like these. So this is, I can't remember what this is called now. Canal view? I think it's called canal view. So now canal would have come along here. Obviously all been filled in, built on. That's the area where that gate is of the old pit, Camerton Old. And the canal would have come under the road here and over to where that white house is. And that would have been the loading area for Camerton Old Colliery, which we're going to have a look at now. Now that's Camerton House. I'll show you some footage of that now, what I filmed the other day when it was sunny. Camerton House. Now there should be canal parapet for the bridge that they took the canal underneath. So the canal would have come out just there, under there. Very good. Okay, so this is a very wet Camerton Old Colliery site. Now that's the cap for the shaft. Yeah, you can watch that video. I'll put a link in somewhere on the screen, somewhere around about there. And that's the statue that was purchased and donated to Camerton Village by C.H.L. Kendall and Sons as a tribute to Happy Kendall and all the miners who worked in these coal mines in 1991. So that was a statue. I cut his head off there. That was a statue that stood outside the Jolly Cholera. So here we are at Collier Close, and that is, so we would be in the car park of the pub now, and that is the old pub straight ahead of us behind those bushes. And that's the pub there. They call it Riverside House, but it was actually a pub. So yeah, so that would have been the pub that the boatmen used to have a couple of drinks. I bet it was a few more than a couple, whilst they were waiting for their boats to be loaded. Right, let's get back to the car. I'm soaked. Okay, from a wet Somerset. That was walk 2. Obviously thanks for watching. You can like and subscribe. You don't have to subscribe, it's free. It will help the channel. I'm at 500 subscribers. If I could get to 1,000, that would make me happy. Any more than that would just be a bonus. I'd like to thank everyone that has subscribed and all the comments I've had. You know, it does boost your morale a bit. But yeah, so this is Camerton Old Pit. So from a wet Camerton Old Pit, tatty buys for now.